Sagittarius, what is going on with you? Come on in, have a seat, make yourself comfortable. My name's Alan Hill from UnknownTruthTarot.com. Welcome back to another Sagittarius love reading. In today's Sagittarius reading, we are going to take a look at the status of the love connection between you and your romantic person of interest. I'm going to do that by getting one card to represent the mutual point of interest between the two of you here in April 2024. I'm going to get 3 cards for you, Saggy, 3 cards for your person, and then I'm going to clarify everything with the second deck, just to make sure we can get down to the bottom of the unknown truth about what's really going on in this love connection of yours. So let's get started. What's one card for what is the mutual point of interest between Sagittarius and the romantic person of interest in April 2024? I will say this, when I was doing the pre-shuffling before I started the camera, I saw some stuff that makes it look like you're waiting on something to happen and you're probably getting a little tired of waiting on it. I don't know if that's actually going to apply to this reading. 9 times out of 10 it does when something starts jumping out of the deck before I'm ready, but giving you a little heads up just in case. What's going on with Sagittarius as it relates to their romantic person of interest and the connection between them in April 2024. Okay. What we got going on here? What's going on with your person, Sagittarius? What's going on with Sagittarius' romantic person of interest? Okay, we got something in here that flipped over. There we are. I'm gonna double check that and make sure nothing else flipped. Looks like we're good. Okay. On the bottom of the deck, the overall energy of this reading, Ace of Swords. This is the sword of truth. It's the sword of victory. It's the sword of clarity. It's also the sword you use to make a decision with. The word decision, the Latin word that decision comes from, literally means to cut off, as in cut off the other options until there's one option left, and that is in fact how you make an actual decision. So this is the sword you decide things with. A lot of times that's what this will indicate, that there's some decision to be made. This is also sometimes the sword you would use to sever a relationship with, like to cut someone or something out of your life that's not to your benefit anymore. Sometimes this is also the sword you would use to cut away something that's out of balance. That way balance can be restored in your life. We got some kind of, looks like a decision here based on what I'm seeing out here. Yeah, very decision-oriented. King of Swords right behind that. This is either Aquarius or Gemini energy. This is a decision-making kind of an energy here, but this is someone that when they decide things, they don't consult their emotions or their intuition. This is a very logical, analytical, rational, like conscious mind thinking, logic and reason type thinking here, where we throw the emotions out the window. I don't really give a shit about the emotions. I'm just looking at what's right in front of me, what's the truth, what are the facts, what are the things that I can see and verify with my own eyes that I know to be true, and I'm going to decide based on that alone. Sometimes this is just very logical thinking kind of a person. Sometimes, though, this can feel like someone who is emotionally detached or emotionally distant or even cold and calculated. It's a decision here about combining lives together. It looks like the 10 of Pentacles. This is Virgo energy. This is most people's goal in the physical reality. This is maximum stability, maximum abundance and prosperity. It's that stable, happy home life that we all want. Sometimes this can represent a lot of money, generational wealth type of a thing. Sometimes this can just represent the combining together of 2 people or 2 families and all their assets and their resources to build this stable, abundant, prosperous home life that we all want. It's like combining lives together. So this looks like the decision that we're talking about here. There is some defensiveness behind it. I was going to stop there, but it's like screaming at me to keep going. We got the 7 of Wands behind that. This is Leo energy. It's a defensive energy. This is like defending my position on something, defending my stance on something, being willing to fight this oncoming energy to protect something that's important to me, to fight for what it is that I want, fight for what I believe in, fight to protect something here. That's the gist of what it looks like this reading is going to talk to me about. We might have to come back to that more as we go along, but this mutual point of interest is shared energy that affects both of you in some way here in April 2024. For you guys, it is the Eight of Wands. Now, I want to say that this doesn't always affect you both exactly the same way. Sometimes they do this and you feel the consequences, or vice versa. Sometimes they say or do something and it makes you feel this way, or vice versa. Sometimes it's external stuff that's happening. But this Eight of Wands is Sagittarius energy. This is the second fastest moving energy in the tarot deck. This is very fast forward movement on something, very fast progress on something that there's passion and desire for. Sometimes this can represent rapid back and forth passionate communications happening. Sometimes this is an energy of travel over distances. Sometimes this is just a whole lot of stuff coming at you all at one time. It would be like trying to take a drink of water out of a fire hose or something. It's just too much pressure, too much happening all at once. It's like enough to blow your head off. So this is like an overwhelming amount of energy, or feeling overwhelmed sometimes. So tell me more about this Eight of Wands. Why is that the mutual point of interest between Sagittarius and the person of interest? Okay. On the bottom of the deck here, we have the Knight of Swords. This is the fastest moving knight in the deck. So I'm seeing a lot of really fast moving energy, and I'm seeing a lot of swords already too. Swords are not necessarily what I want to see in a love reading. A relationship reading should be loaded up with a bunch of cups and probably some wands for passion and desire. Not really digging the swords. This is rushing forward and taking some rapid, decisive action on something. Usually something that either doesn't require any thought, it's just do it. Or sometimes this is a person who rushes forward very quickly without thinking something through first, and they just come rushing in and take this action that they didn't think about until after it's already done, and then they think about it when it's a little bit too late. So this can be a very abrupt, like spur of the moment, spontaneous, sometimes even an impulsive kind of an energy here. Very fast movement on something. But that doesn't go very well with this Two of Swords. This is Libra energy, but again with the swords, this is a decision that needs to be made, only it hasn't been made yet. Sometimes there's just not enough information available to make the decision, kind of hence the blindfold here. Sometimes that blindfold can represent that there's something that I know is there. I just don't want to see that. I don't want to look at that, and being in denial about it is preventing me from making some kind of a decision. But there is some underlying decision that hasn't been made yet, but that's kind of weird that there's all this fast moving action on something, very decisive action, and we've got the overall energy being the decision and the chief decision maker right behind that. About combining lives together or money in some sense. I'm not 100% sure yet, but behind this Knight of Swords, Two of Swords, I have the Queen of Swords. So I got way too many swords here. More swords here. This is she who knows the truth. She is about speaking the truth on something, so a lot of times she'll represent having some kind of a difficult conversation where truth gets spoken. Whenever I see Queen of Swords and Seven of Wands in the same little bit of the story, this is usually here I'm telling you something that you probably don't want to hear, but it's the truth, and then here's somebody being defensive about that. Son of a bitch, I got another two more swords underneath it. Holy shit, 10 of Swords and 5 of Swords are right underneath that. We're going to get to the Ten of Swords in a second because it came out in the clarifiers, but she is about speaking the truth on something and then cutting off the person or the thing that's not in your best interest anymore. A lot of times she'll represent telling it like it is and then severing the connection. Maybe that's the decision that hasn't been made. There could have been all this impulsive, spontaneous action taken without thinking it through, and then there's the thinking it through part and the decision at the end possibly to cut this off because so much has happened at once. When I clarify this Eight of Wands, I get the Nine of Wands, the Lovers, the Ten of Swords, and the Ace of Pentacles. Nine of Wands is a step up from the Eight of Wands that I'm clarifying right now. This is also Sagittarius energy. This is a defensive energy, a walled-off defensive energy. This is the wounded warrior, and he's been hurt, hence the bandage, hence the wall he's built around himself. It's his defense mechanisms being tripped off. This indicates someone has been hurt, and their defenses have come up as a way to protect them because they don't want to get hurt anymore. They don't want to continue to get hurt. So this is someone who's trying to heal, someone who's trying to get their energy right so they can move forward and take the next step in their journey. A lot has happened, but this is feeling like I'm down, but I'm not out. But this is also feeling like there is some kind of a barrier in the way here. Someone has been hurt in this situation. I'm expecting that it's you based on what I'm seeing out here, but I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. Next clarifier is the Lover's card. This is the Gemini Major Arcana. This is a powerful love connection that you feel here. But a long time ago, before this card was called the Lovers, it used to be called the Choice. So it represents the interconnectedness between people and how when you're with someone, their decisions, no matter how impulsive they are, no matter how very well thought through they were, their decisions affect you and your decisions affect them. There's no way to escape that. This can also represent a choice in a powerful love connection, or even a choice between more than one lover. I do see hurt has happened here, and there's potentially some barrier in the way of this massive feeling of love. I do want to clarify that this does not mean, this is not like factual data being beamed down from God or spirit or source or the universe dictating that yes, you two are supposed to be together. That's not what this means. This is showing up in the shared energy because at some point both of you have felt the power of this connection, felt the pull of this connection. But then I have the Ten of Swords next, which is Gemini energy. This is a swift, painful ending to something. Sometimes this is an ending you didn't see coming, which is why the swords are in the back. Sometimes this is an ending in betrayal, but no matter how you slice this energy, it's an ending to something. I got hurt here. A barrier between this love connection and ending that happens. Looks like based on this Ace of Pentacles, this is a brand new opportunity, a physical, real world, tangible opportunity presenting itself. It's an ace, which means it's got potential behind it. This has the potential to turn into the Ten of Pentacles that we see here in the background behind all this decision, logic type energy. But it's an ace. This is the seed of abundance. It's not the full-blown Ten of Pentacles in and of itself. It's going to take work, time, effort, and energy to go from this seed to that full-blown 10. So any ace is an opportunity that you have to grab and do something with it, or it just represents empty potential. And what's concerning is I'm seeing this hurt and this choice about the connection and an ending and a whole lot of passion, desire, energy happening with this spontaneous, impulsive energy underlying all of it. This could be someone who saw an opportunity present itself and boom, just jumped on it and didn't think it through until after the fact. And this could be saying because there was no like actual decision being made here, just spontaneous action, I got to tell you how it is and cut this off. But it looks like there is sadness and remorse about that underlying it. I don't know if this is about the severing of the connection, there's sadness and remorse about that, or if there's sadness and remorse about taking this impulsive action that I should have thought through first. It could actually be both at the same time because we're in the shared energy and this doesn't always affect you both exactly the same way. So it could be they feel terrible for what they did, and it could be you feel terrible because we've spilled all the cups here, we've lost the connection, we've lost all this love and emotions and time, effort, and energy that we've poured into this, but there is still a connection in the background here. The problem with that is that could represent that there is still a connection that both of you feel in the background, and it just doesn't have the focus because you're both focused on the loss of it. But this could also mean that we had a Two of Cups in the background, a connection or a choice between more than one cup of love, kind of like I'm seeing here with this choice between lovers. Could be that. Take that however it resonates for you. It could be one way for you and the other way for the very next Sagittarius person that shows up after you. Damn, I got King of Wands and Five of Pentacles also here, and then the Eight of Wands. So yeah, this is telling me that's where the end of the story is here. King of Wands is either Sagittarius or Leo energy, but this is a person who's very bold, passionate, fiery, determined. They know exactly what they want. They go after what they want. They don't take no for an answer. They don't let barriers get in their way, obstacles stop them. This is the person that's going to find a way to get what they want, or they're going to make up a way to get what they want. It is also the pinnacle of the wand suit. The wand is about passion, desire. It's the phallic symbol of the deck, so it represents the male you-know-what, using it to be intimate. Well, this is the pinnacle of that suit. So it's not just a driven, motivated, determined, like ambitious person. It's someone who's also very driven and motivated by passion and desire. I have the Five of Pentacles next, which is Taurus energy. Fives are conflict. Fives are change. This is an abandonment. This is being cast aside, walked away from, left out in the cold. This is a breakup kind of an energy tied to this passion, desire, driven, know what I want kind of an energy. And got this Eight of Wands with it, which is the card that I'm clarifying now. So this is the universe beating me over the head about how fast this was, how much is happening all at once, and how it's probably overwhelming. That is the shared energy that is affecting both of you here in April 2024, Sagittarius. I will freely admit to you, it's pretty common at this early stage. I don't fully understand exactly what this is telling me. I will come back to this as I go through your energy, because then I'll be able to see how it applies to you. I'll even come back to it again as I go through their energy so I can see how it applies to them. That's the shared energy for you guys. Your energy in this connection, Sagittarius, first card is always the most important for you. You got the Page of Pentacles. Central to your energy is Justice. And your final card is the Ten of Cups. Page of Pentacles. Pages are messengers, so this is news, messages, and communications about some physical, tangible, real-world opportunity presenting itself. Page of Pentacles is talking about this Ace of Pentacles, this physical opportunity here. A lot of times, this card will represent someone who is still at the early, not fully developed stages of planning for their future. Tell me more about this Page of Pentacles, please. Why is that the first card for Sagittarius in this connection? Okay. I keep knocking my Jade Dragon over. I don't know what's going on with that. I've probably knocked it over 3 times this week. I went for like 6 months or longer without knocking it over a single time, and now I've just been knocking it over left and right. Bottom of the deck, Eight of Cups. This is Pisces energy of emotionally detaching, physically walking away. The person in the card walks away from these 8 full cups of love because they think there's something better out there for them, and they got to go find out if it is or not. A lot of times this will represent someone who has like the grass might be greener on the other side of the fence thing going on in their head, and they got to go find out if it is or not. Usually what they find out is, nope, not greener over there, and then they try to come back later. Sometimes this is an energy of realizing that 8 cups is the best this person is ever going to be able to give you, and the only way to get your 9th cup, your personal happiness and wish fulfillment, the only way for you to get that 10 of cups, that happily ever after that we all dream about, that true love that we all dream about, this person ain't capable of giving you that. And the only way you're going to find it is to make that difficult decision to walk away and leave behind what you have to go down a new path in search of your own personal happiness, your own happily ever after. Damn, the Tower right behind that. This is the collapse of some important structure in your life. This is a foundation rocking event. This is something big happening where nothing's the same after that. A lot of times this will represent the collapse of the relationship, like either they walked away from you and that collapsed everything. Sometimes this can represent the collapse of a belief system, like this mental model of the world that you're operating from, where you probably believe this connection was going to be the 10 of Cups for you. In fact, I'm getting ahead of myself, but that's your final card out here, 10 of Cups. This could be the collapse of that belief, where now something has dramatically changed. This news and messages of a physical opportunity, this Lover's card being here with either a barrier between the connection or there's a choice between lovers and an ending that happens because of it. And this is not looking pleasant here. Looks like your plan for the future has been walked away from and probably decimated here. 8 of Swords behind that. This is Gemini energy of being stuck in your head, grinding on something over and over again on this repeating loop in your mind where you don't have all the answers. You're blindfolded. You don't know what to do here. You don't know what's the safe move to make here, and you don't want to make some kind of a mistake. So you get stuck in your head grinding on it over and over, trying to fill the blanks in your mind, simulate everything, and then run through it again and again and again, trying to figure it out. This is not pleasant energy to be in. This is almost like grinding on the ending, grinding on the collapse of all of this over and over and over again. Son of a bitch, I got that Five of Swords again. I saw that a little farther down in the overall energy. This is Aquarius energy. Again, fives are conflict. This can be a conflict in communications, like a big fight. Bitter words being spoken, words being used like weapons, tongues being used like swords to cut each other. This can be a betrayal. At its core, this is a mentally and psychologically painful situation or event. It's not a pleasant energy. Stuck in your head about an ending, stuck in your head about a betrayal, either trying to emotionally detach from all of that and walk away from it to go to your plan for the future, or maybe your plan for the future has just been walked away from and everything's different now. When I clarify this Page of Pentacles, I get the Hierophant, the High Priestess, and the World. So I got 3 major arcana cards to clarify this mess. This is powerful energy that's affecting you here. The Hermit is the Taurus major arcana card. It is a card of commitment in a relationship reading. This is about being in a committed relationship, being fully committed to it, and trying to take it to the next level. Like go from dating to living together to engaged to being married, like moving that forward and being fully committed to doing that. That looks like that was your early stage plan here. But then we got the High Priestess, which is she who knows. We already saw Queen of Swords, which is she who knows the truth. This is just she who knows, period. She knows everything. She sits in front of the veil of consciousness, so she has access to all the information that you and I as humans, we don't have access to. The problem with her, she doesn't always tell us everything. Sometimes there's stuff that we don't need to know until it's time for us to know, at which point she clues us in through our intuition, through gut feelings, through signs, synchronicities, dreams that have messages in them. This is like that internal knowing where you don't have any actual factual data on something, but you just know. You can feel something's up and you know. Like, we have the World as the final clarifier here. This is the final card in the major arcana. This is the ending of one cycle and at the same time the beginning of the next cycle. So this is an ending and a new beginning at the same time. I definitely see the ending. I definitely see this walking away energy, this tower, this collapse that's got you stuck in your head. It looks like commitment is where either you were married with this person or that's where you thought it was ultimately going to lead to, and something has dramatically altered that perception for you. Central to your energy is Justice, another major arcana card. This time it's Libra energy. This is the most powerful card of balance in the deck. It's about doing the right, fair, just thing. This is about cutting away something that's not in balance so that balance can be restored and then the right, fair, just thing can happen. The fact that it's here is telling me something unfair and unjust has occurred, and there's something out of whack that needs like cut off and rebalance the equation here. Tell me about Justice, please. Why is that the central energy of Sagittarius in this connection in April 2024? Thank you. Man. Bottom of the deck, 8 of Wands. We have already seen that in the overall or the shared energy that affects both of you. We saw it in the story in the bottom of the deck. When I clarified that, very fast moving energy. A lot of passion and desire. This can be communication. This can be travel. This could just be fast movement on something that I got all this passion and desire for. It doesn't feel like this is you unless it's the overwhelmed part. It feels to me like your person is the one that took the really fast action, and this stuff is showing up here in your central column, probably because it's affecting you so strongly. Man, when I clarify Justice, 10 of Wands, Knight of Swords, 3 of Swords. 10 of Wands is a Sagittarius energy. Out of the minor arcana cards, the Sagittarius cards are the 8 of Wands, the 9 of Wands, and the 10 of Wands. I've got all 3 of them out here. This is a heavy burden that you're carrying. It is also a 10, and in tarot, 10s represent completion, so this is supposed to be the completion of you carrying a heavy burden. In other words, this is supposed to be the place where you lay this burden down and move forward without it. That burden is tied to something unfair, unjust occurring, something being out of balance. Probably in the commitment that you were in this connection here, there's a heavy burden tied to the commitment itself. Next clarifier for justice is that Knight of Swords that we've already seen, fastest knight in the deck. So again, I'm getting hit over the head with this very abrupt, fast-moving energy, probably related to this other person and this physical opportunity to do something with them. This is that impulsive leap before you look type of an energy here. Just do it and think about it later kind of an energy. It's sitting right beside the High Priestess, which is telling me that they did something and you didn't know that they did it. Hell, they didn't even know they were going to did it, but you knew that they did it. Couldn't prove it, but you could feel something is happening here, and I don't like what it is. What it leads to is this Three of Swords. This is Libra energy of heartbreak and sadness, usually from a third energy. That third energy is not always a romantic third party, although it definitely can be, and it looks like it's likely that in this case. That third energy can be anything. Like anything that we humans do enough of is eventually going to pick up its own energy. Like my business has picked up its own energy at this point. It affects the people that are close to me in my life. It affects me. So that third energy can be like working too much, going to school is becoming a problem. You know, it could be a third party, definitely could be that. It could just be nosy friends, family members, neighbors, coworkers, anybody sticking their nose where it doesn't belong. It's tied directly to this ending of a cycle and beginning of a new cycle based on some very abrupt action that was taken. Final card for you, Sagittarius, is the Ten of Cups. This is Pisces energy. This is most people's goal in love and relationships. This is that happily ever after that we all dream about, that happy fairy tale love connection that we all dream about. It's being combined together in the emotional sense where everyone's fully happy, fully in love, everything's great. The downside to this card, especially since I've seen the Tower, since I've seen this plan for a commitment, but then unfair stuff happening. The negative piece of this card is that fairy tale component, because we all want this so bad that we'll ignore stuff that's happening because we want this to be true. If this red flag that I'm seeing is actually true, that means this isn't true, and I want this to be true, so I'm going to ignore the red flag. I'm going to sweep that shit under the rug and pretend like I didn't see that, pretend like that's not real, because I want this to be real instead. That gets more people in trouble than just about any other card in this deck, as far as what I can see from doing so many relationship readings. Tell me about this Ten of Cups, please. Why is the Ten of Cups here, the final card? Okay. I think this one came first. Man. On the bottom of the deck, the Tower. Like I said, this is sometimes the collapse of the relationship. Sometimes it's the collapse of your belief system. If you believed that this is the one for me, I've got the Lovers out here, I've got the Hierophant out here, I've got the Ten of Cups, like this happily ever after that I've always wanted. This is the perfect relationship for me, and that's where it's going. This is the collapse of that belief. The Empress. Damn. This is the mother of the tarot deck. She's always pregnant, so she's always giving birth to something. In a relationship reading, she represents the birth of something new, usually the birth of a new connection. That's probably the unfair, unjust thing. Somebody probably took some rapid, decisive action on something, just not thinking about it, and then they created a situation where, oh shit, now there's a choice between two people, and I gotta end one. Eight of Cups. So it looks like they birthed something new, and everything changed for you because they birthed something new, and they emotionally detached. They walked away. They went down a brand new path towards something that they think might be better. This is going to see if the grass is greener on the other side of the fence or not. Underlying all of that energy is the Chariot, which is the fastest moving energy in the entire deck. It's faster than this Eight of Wands we've seen 3 times. It's faster than this Knight of Swords that we've seen twice. This is like rocket launcher kind of fast here. This is about, at its core, it's about the will to overcome obstacles, to overcome problems and challenges and all these barriers and stuff that's in my way. It's overcoming all that through sheer will alone and moving forward very fast in success. There's an issue of alignment presented in this card, though. You've got a dark side, you've got a light side. The driver doesn't have any reins to control this thing or to steer it, so he controls it through sheer will alone. But if the driver is not fully in alignment, if that dark side of himself and the light side of himself aren't pulling in the same direction, this thing either doesn't go anywhere or it tears itself in half as it tries to move forward. So this is either the very fastest energy in the deck or it's every bit as stuck as the Hanged Man and it doesn't go anywhere. This can sometimes represent your person walking away and you having the underlying desire to try to overcome the obstacles and the challenges here and the collapse of this thing, but sometimes it's them getting in the Chariot and just getting the hell out of Dodge as fast as possible, which I've seen a lot of fast energy, a lot of it. When I clarify this 10 of Cups for you, Sagittarius, I get the 9 of Swords, the Page of Pentacles, the 3 of Wands, and Death. The 9 of Swords is Gemini energy. So I've seen the 8 of Swords, the 9 of Swords, and the 10 of Swords. All 3 Gemini minor arcana cards out here. I've got the Gemini major arcana out here. When I was shuffling before I started the camera, one of the cards that jumped out at me was Temperance, which is your major arcana card. And I've seen all of your minor arcana cards out here. I've even seen the King of Wands, which can represent Sagittarius energy at times. I've got the King of Swords right here, which can sometimes represent Gemini energy. You might be dealing with the Gemini. Hell, this is a collective reading. I'm not tapping into your specific energy as an individual person the same way I would if I were doing a personal reading for you. So I'm just going to continue calling out all the signs as they stick out to me because it's almost impossible for me to pin down exactly who you're dealing with here. But I have seen a lot of Gemini cards. I've seen a few Scorpio cards. I've seen a couple Taurus cards. That's predominantly what I've seen. So take it how it resonates for you. This 9 of Swords is Gemini energy of fear, worry, and anxiety. This is thinking about something a lot with all this fear and worry behind your thinking and doing that to the point that it starts to become stressful. I already saw you in the 8 of Swords where you're looping something in your mind trying to figure it out. This is a step escalated from that. This is worse than that. This is mental anguish. This is like sleepless nights, nightmares, can't stay asleep, can't concentrate on what I'm doing, can't eat. This is not a good spot. The person on the card has their eyes covered because in their mind this situation is so bad that they don't want to face it. They don't want to see it. There's definitely a burden here that you're worried about, and it's a burden tied directly to that commitment that you have with this person. Next clarifier for the 10 of Cups is that Page of Pentacles, which was the very first card here in your energy, the most important card for you. Like I said, this is usually an early stage plan for the future, like not a fully developed plan for the future. And now there's fear, worry, and anxiety about, was this connection real? There's fear, worry, and anxiety tied to this plan for the future, or even the news messages and communicating about this physical opportunity that presents itself, which is in the shared energy. So this is feeling like they had an opportunity present itself to them, which is why it's in the shared energy for them. That's how it affects them. But for you, that opportunity that they had changed everything for you. It probably ended the opportunity that you were trying to go after. This probably ended this love connection in some way, and it left you hurt and some barrier in your way here. Next clarifier for the 10 of Cups is the 3 of Wands. This is Aries energy. This is an energy of waiting. In essence, it's like in the 2 of Wands, you're at this fork in the road, this decision point about what is it that you really want for your life? What do you want your world to be like? And which of these two paths is going to get you there? Which path do you got to leave behind? this is the next step. Here, the decision about what you want has already been made. You've already chosen the path. You've already started taking steps down the path, trying to manifest the thing that you want. This is being at the beginning stages of manifesting something and having this belief that the thing I want is going to happen, like positive expectancy. It's going to happen. It just hasn't happened yet, and I'm still waiting on it to show up. But right beside that Three of Wands, I got the Three of Swords. So again, it's like another thing telling me that there's a third person involved now. Some third energy is here. And that's caused an ending of a cycle and the beginning of a new cycle. Like, this is you believing that this is the Ten of Cups and that this is going to turn into this commitment that you want, the type of marriage that you want, the type of being combined together that you want, the type of love connection that you want. This is you believing that and still waiting on it to happen. But I have Death next, which is the Scorpio Major Arcana card. Getting ahead of myself, it's staring at me. Central to their energy is the other Death card. This is an ending. This is something dying so it can be reborn again in a whole different way. Usually this involves a very painful transformation process, a very painful transition period following the death of something. This is usually not a pleasant energy to go through. It's almost always the case, though, that when you come out the other side of this tunnel, you're going to be stronger for it. You're going to be better off for it than you were before this happened. It's just the whole process of it happening and getting through the transition period is not pleasant. I've been reading this to you vertically in columns and then connecting it horizontally in rows. This final row of cards, this is the only thing in it, just ending. That's your energy in this connection, Sagittarius. Let's take a look at your person's energy. For them, the first card is also the most important, Page of Cups. Central to their energy I just showed you is Death. Final card for them is Judgment. So they got two major arcana cards here. It's kind of interesting. Their first card is a page. Your first card is also a page. The pages are the lowest form of the court card. They're the least developed of the court cards. They're not fully mature energies. So yours is involving like a plan for the future that wasn't a fully developed plan. Theirs is news and messages and communications about love and emotions, like expressing feelings, lovey-dovey messages. Man. Sometimes it can represent an apology, but that doesn't add up with what else is out here. So tell me about this Page of Cups. Why is this here for Sagittarius, this romantic person of interest? We're not taking a whole mess, please. I guess we are. Wow. I think I have one flipped over in here too. Let me double check that. Yeah, I did. Got two in here. This is a lot. Now I see why there's 8 of Wands all over the place. This is a lot. It's too much. It's like way too much. I'm going to put all this back in, but I'm going to tell you what it is first. Oh my God. No, I'm not. I'm just leaving it. We're just going with it. Underlying this Page of Wands or Page of Cups energy, this not fully emotionally mature energy, this lovey-dovey messages kind of energy, I get the 5 of Cups, Scorpio energy again. This is sadness and remorse about the past. It's being focused on these 3 cups that have been spilled and all the love, emotions, time, effort, and energy that's been spilled and wasted. There's still 2 upright cups in the background. There is still a connection here that they feel. It just doesn't have the focus. They're focused on what they've lost and they're feeling the loss. They're focused on what they don't have anymore and they're feeling that gap in their life. They're focused on what's missing and not what they have. This can, like I said, though, represent that even though they still feel a connection for you, it can also represent that in the background for them is another connection, and there's a choice about connection. There's a choice about lovers here. It could represent that. I'm not saying 100% certainty that it is, although it's definitely looking more like that now that that mess jumped out. I'm not going any deeper because I already got way more cards. Normally I want 3 clarifiers and I just got 6, 7, 8 clarifiers for their first card. So like I said, definitely most important card in their energy. Let's just pick this whole mess up. Gosh. Clarifying Page of Cups, Page of Cups. Anytime I'm clarifying a card and I get the same card in the story, that's the universe just beating me over the head going, dude, I'm telling you, we got emotional immaturity here. We got somebody who's doing lovey-dovey communications in some way. Or trying to pull some sort of sleight of hand thing here where I want you to look at this fish that's in the cup and not at me because I don't want you to see what I'm really up to. Excuse me. Next clarifier for that Page of Cups, the Star. This is Aquarius Major Arcana energy. This is a card of hope. It's a card of healing. It's also the card that comes immediately after the Tower in the sequence of the cards. We've seen the Tower twice for you. You don't make it to the Star without going through a Tower, without some collapse of some kind. When the Tower collapses and nothing's the same, it's hard to see the path moving forward. And this is that guiding light from the universe that lights the way so they can see the path moving forward. It's where hope and healing both come from. A lot of times this will be the hope that we can fix this. I do see, I guess I have to go farther. I do see that sadness and remorse, possible regrets about what I did and hoping that we can fix this. I got the 5 of Pentacles under that, 2 more 5s, conflict, change. This is abandonment being cast aside, and then I've got Hermit underneath that, Virgo Major Arcana. This is like communication shutting down. This feels like ghosting, and I feel bad that I did that. I just abruptly left, and I feel bad that I did that. I'm not talking about it. This can also be they're doing some soul searching here, trying to figure out what do I do to make adjustments here so I can move forward. There's definitely hope about something here. You know, I would love to just assume that this is the hope that they can fix this, but I would be lying to you if I didn't tell you that this could also represent the hope that these feelings that I'm expressing somewhere, these lovey-dovey messages, actually get some traction behind it. King of Wands is next. This is, like I said, Sagittarius or Leo energy. The pinnacle of the wand suit, very driven, motivated, determined person, also driven, motivated, and determined by the wand itself, sexual energy. Ace of Swords, that is the overall energy of the whole reading. Some decision here. This is a decision being made, cutting off something that's not in their best interest anymore, severing a connection. This could even just represent the truth. Knight of Cups. Knights are action takers. This is actions toward love and emotions. This is moving forward with romantic offers, romantic gestures. I've got a card here that could be like flirtatious behavior, early stages of like talking about emotions and stuff like that, talking about how I feel. But then this is the next step up. This is going from talking about it to doing something about it. This is like trying to move forward in romantic offers, gestures, advance a connection in some way, advance a cup of love in some way. And it looks like to do that, we got to do 7 of Swords, which is Aquarius energy. This is lying, cheating, stealing, deception, sneaking around behind your back, trying to get away with something that they shouldn't have been trying to do, which is lovey-dovey communicating, following their wand, moving forward in that, following this opportunity they've got. Looks like doing it. This is like a law of passion energy, very fast. This is like boom, spontaneous. This can also represent, besides cheating, it can also represent self-preservation. Like he steals 5 swords. The 5 of Swords is a mentally, psychologically painful thing. This is, I don't want to get hurt by that, so I'm stealing that to make sure I can't be hurt. So it can be self-preservation. It can also represent leaving something behind because they can't carry all the swords and they have to leave 2 behind. We did see 2 of Swords somewhere toward the beginning of the reading. You know, decision that hasn't been made or needs made but hasn't been made. I'm not feeling that from this though. This is looking like deception. 7 of Wands, and then defensiveness about that. Leo energy. We did see this here about 4 cards deep in the overall energy, that defensive energy, defending my position, defending my stance, fighting to get what I want, fighting to protect what I want. 5 of Wands. That's their problem. This is Leo energy again. Another conflict card, another 5. Man, I've seen all the fives. Literally all four of the minor arcana fives, and I have the Hierophant, the five of the major arcana, rules over these other fives of the four suits. I've got it all out. I've seen all of it. This is Leo energy of being internally conflicted. There's a conflict in their desires. In other words, a piece of them wants this thing and another piece of them wants that thing. And now I'm torn between these two things that I want. I'm playing tug of war inside myself in terms of what is it that I really want. I'm internally conflicted about that. Which is why you don't just be in a connection and start taking actions toward another connection, because it's going to create internal conflict. It's going to create a situation where, yeah, I want you, but I also want them. And now what do I do? Man, central to their energy is death, which we saw over here as the only card for you that didn't have anything in the row with it. This is an ending. This is something dying. Painful transformation process. Tell me more about death, please. That was weird. That first card before this one shot out, it like folded itself in half almost and then went right back in the deck and didn't come out. Son of a monkey's uncle. Bottom of the deck. The Tower. When I'm clarifying death and ending to something, and what I get is the Tower, the collapse of something important, it's pretty clear to me that this collapsed the connection. What they did here is what killed the connection. Nothing was the same after that. Page of Wands. I got way too many pages out here. I've got 1, 2, third one in their energy. I've got 2 in your energy. Like I said, not fully mature, not fully developed energy. This is news and messages and communications about passion, about desire, expressing what it is I want. This can be expressing interest in someone. It's also the minor arcana version of the Fool. The Fool's about just taking that blind leap of faith, like, screw it, I'm going to go for it. I don't need to worry about how this is going to work. I'm just going to jump, and I'll figure it out on my way down. This is a little more toned down version of that kind of an energy. This is a person who has the willingness to take the very first steps down this brand new path towards something that they have passion and desire for. Could be also passionately communicating. Yeah, I got that other issue of alignment again here with the Chariot. This is very fast forward moving energy, but both pieces of themselves were definitely not pulling in the same direction. They were internally conflicted and still took action on that then. When I clarify death, I get the Knight of Pentacles, the King of Swords, and the Five of Swords. Again with all the swords. Knight of Pentacles, slowest moving knight in the deck, which goes completely opposite to all this very fast moving energy I've seen the whole reading. So this isn't talking about slow in terms of speed. The other meaning to this card, like you can see, he's holding the Ace of Pentacles. He's holding the seed of abundance. He knows he has it. He's holding it. He's looking right at the damn thing. But the fields in the background are completely empty because he knows he's supposed to plant the seed and he just hasn't done it. So this can be a person who knows what they're supposed to do and doesn't do it for some reason. Likewise, he knows he's not just supposed to sit on his ass and do nothing, but that's what he's doing anyway. So it can also represent a person who knows what they're not supposed to do, but does it any damn way. And that, in essence, is what kills the connection. That's what causes the Tower, because they know they're not supposed to be doing lovey-dovey messages and flirtatious behavior with somebody that's not you, but they do it anyway. And they let their wand get the better of them, and they advance on that, and then they start doing sneaky, deceptive bullshit and being defensive about that, trying to protect themselves. Because they don't want to have to choose. They don't want to lose the connection they have with you, but they also don't want to lose that opportunity that they have. King of Swords is the next clarifier. We did already see that 2 cards deep in the overall energy, that very logical, rational decision-making energy, looking at what's in front of me and not my emotions, not consulting my emotions at all. Just, I'm going to choose what's in my best interest based on what I can see. And I think what they saw was a physical opportunity somewhere. 5 of Swords, Aquarius energy. This, like I said, this is a betrayal. This is a mentally and psychologically painful situation or event. This usually culminates with a big fight and an ending here. And it's tied directly to King of Wands, which is that decision-making energy that follows passion and desire and what they want. This Five of Swords can sometimes be an energy of a person who has this winning at all costs mentality. Like, I'm going to get what I want no matter what. If you have to get hurt in that process for me to get what I want, sorry, you're going to get hurt, because I'm getting what I want no matter what the collateral damage is. What they want has something to do with their wand. The final card for your person, Sagittarius, is Judgment. This is a very powerful major arcana card. This is a final decision being made. The overall energy was the sword you use to make decisions with, and the chief decision maker. That decision is directly related to building this life together. This is a decision in a relationship. It's almost always a decision to call it dead and over with, or it's the opposite of that, a decision to try to resurrect it, to try to bring it back to life and transform it so it's not the same again. Since I've got Death over here on your side, it's the only card with nothing in a row with it, and Death is the center card in their energy, I'm assuming that this is the decision to call it dead and over with on their part, or this is the decision, the judgment getting passed on them for what they did and the severing of this person. So I'm going to clarify it. Tell me more about Judgment, please. Why is Judgment here for Sagittarius' remedy person of interest? Notice how they don't want to talk suddenly. Yeah, I see why. Then they puke it all out. Good job. Okay, Lord. Bottom of the deck, you can't make it up. There's the Tower again. So yeah, this is a decision that, this is either the collapse of the relationship because they decided to end it, or it's the collapse of the relationship because everything they did got you to pass judgment on them and cut this off. Eight of Cups. I think this is them walking away from you. This is emotionally detaching and physically walking away because I got to go see if the grass is greener on the other side of the fence. When I got this many pages in a person's energy, and this King of Swords isn't feeling good, especially because it's tied to this Five of Swords. This King of Wands isn't feeling good. Typically, I love both of those energies. I view myself as both of those energies. But here, they just feel not good. And this is like, this is that person who's like walking away because they fully believe that, if it turns out it's not better over here, I can always come back and they'll take me back. They believe that this is their happily ever after. They believe that we're going to have this committed life together and that we're probably even supposed to be together. So that gives me a free pass to go do whatever the fuck I want. And if it doesn't work out, cool. I'll come back and they'll take me back. Empress, yeah. So I'm walking away to go birth something new. And if that don't work out, I'll just come back and rebirth this with you. No problem. And there they are, doing the communications about what they want and taking that very first step down that new path. That's what led to the Judgment. And I think that's their decision making. I think that's the way they're viewing this. They're viewing it very cold and calculated, and it's like, yeah, I'm going to get what I want. It doesn't matter what happens. It's fine because I'm still going to get what I want. When I clarify Judgment, I get the Six of Wands, the Chariot, the Two of Pentacles, and the Six of Swords. Swords have been a consistent theme throughout this one. Six of Wands is Leo energy of recognition. Sometimes this is your person getting recognized for something. Sometimes it's them coming to some sort of a recognition here. I think it's them getting recognized. There's a judgment being passed here. There's this lovey-dovey communications. There's them getting recognized as someone who doesn't do what they're supposed to or does stuff they know they're not supposed to do. This is them getting recognized. The Chariot. Both of these cards are really about successful forward movement. So even though they're being a douchebag, they're still moving forward successfully at what they're what they're desiring here, what their wand energy, it's what they're desiring. They're moving forward toward it. This is probably them getting in the chariot and getting the hell out of Dodge and rolling out from you, probably very quickly. It's also indicating to me that they're not in alignment here. They're definitely internally conflicted here, but this is like, oh well, moving forward anyway. I'm going after what I want. Be damned the consequences. Two of Pentacles. Twos are decisions. They're choices. This is like a physical choice where I can't have both of these things, and I got to weigh the pros and cons. I got to look at my options in front of me and decide, do I want this one or do I want that one? And it's like being back and forth about it, being undecided, being like 1 foot in and 1 foot out about it. The emotions are rough and choppy in the background. It's supposed to be an energy of balance, but it's more about like trying to maintain balance or get balance back when it's been thrown off. But it is a choice about something in the physical sense. And yeah, like I said, there's this Five of Swords right beside it. I think I had those laying incorrectly a minute ago. I got too many cards in this first column. This Chariot's connected to the King of Swords and the Star. So Aquarius energy across the board there. Some Gemini too, though. This is like I'm doing what I can see in front of me, and I'm making this logical decision because the hope on your end is still here that we can fix this and that we can overcome it. So even if this doesn't work out for me, I can still get it back. It's like I don't like that. I don't like that at all. This is them juggling two people. I think there was a period of time here where they were already doing the sneaky deceptive stuff. They had already made a decision to start moving forward with this other person, and they were being sneaky and deceptive and defensive about it. And I think that's what ultimately brought the Tower down. They probably got recognized for that. And then I got Six of Swords. We've seen the Five of Swords at least twice, that mentally, psychologically painful situation or event. This is about moving away from a painful thing, leaving the pain of something in the past. It's moving away from something and leaving it in the past and moving forward into the future toward what it is that they want. There's a choice here, and the choice is about like, this bad stuff's already happened. I can't change that. What I can control is what happens going into the future. They're supposed to be choosing, do I carry the burden that caused all that pain into my future so it continues to weigh me down? Or do I lay the burden down and carry forward the lesson that I learned from that painful thing so that something like this never happens again? But there's nothing beside that card. There's a decision on the other end, which is that same decision here. And it's being made by King of Swords, which is also in this column, but that there's a gap in between the Ace and the Six. So they're not thinking it right. They're thinking about it completely backwards. I don't like someone that has the belief that I can just do whatever I want and you like me so much you'll take me back no matter what. That's what this really feels like to me. It's what it really feels like to me. Now, if you still have questions you want answered about this situation or your relationship, click on any of the videos that just appeared on your screen right now. When you do, you'll be taken to more Sagittarius love readings that can give you more insight and more clarity about what's really going on in your connection, and I'll see you in the next video.